Hi everyone, this is Tural from ESConflab, and today we have a very special guest. Actually, it's very interesting because we met her several years ago in Tallinn Fringe Festival, and she was doing an amazing performance. Welcome, Kaisa Ling.
Hi, nice to meet you again, of course. Cool.
How are you doing, Kaisa?
I think the same as last time, lots of work, lots of fun, lots of projects. I mean, I love to work. I love working. I love work.
Kaisa, actually, you are also a journalist. How is it feeling to be on the other side of the microphone?
I mean, I'm not a professional journalist. I do literature shows, and I'm an amateur at the radio thing as well. But I've done a few years, and as I've done so many different projects, I've also been on the other side of the microphone quite a few times. It's terrifying, but I'm okay. I'm fine with it.
Okay, let's move to Eesti Laul. How the idea came to participate in it?
I've really wanted to take part in Eesti Laul for a long time now already, but I've never had a song. I'm maybe not very good at writing Eurovision songs, but I've never had a song that I felt would fit for the competition, and my band is also super reluctant to get involved in Eesti Laul. And this was not my idea. This time this was all Räpina Jack. So Gilgare wrote the song, and as we became very good friends, kind of by accident or quite recently, maybe 2 years ago or so, I approached them and said that I'm a huge fan of Räpina Jack because I really like what they do. And they were such wonderful lads. They invited me for a coffee at a cafe for a professional date. So professional musicians go to a date. And they bought me cake and coffee, and I was very happy. And we've become great friends since then, and really enjoy being together. So when they said that they would like someone to sing a bit on their song for the Estonian song competition, I was like, yeah, sure, I can do it, no problem, boys. And I had no idea that my role would be so substantial. I'm a glorified backing singer. but I'm really happy that I'm in this beautiful role, and I'm enjoying it very much.
Can you explain what your song means? I mean, of course, it's in Estonian, but for English speakers, what Tule means for you, and how you will interpret.
You know that it means come.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful poem. It's a beautiful alliterative poem. So many words start with the same word, and it's kind of, it sounds a bit like the Estonian old folk songs, and it means it's talking to something or someone and says, please come and come into my mind, come into our town, come into my heart, come into my mouth. And it might also sound pretty dirty if you start thinking about it, but it basically can mean whatever you want. Gil, I know, Gilgare, Gilbaba, Räpina Jack, he's thinking about inspiration when he says, please come. And I often think about good weather. So when I'm singing, please come to this beautiful country of ours, then I'm talking to good weather. And maybe some people are thinking about peace. And maybe some people are thinking about love. If you don't have love in your heart or in your life, then you can take this song and you can really sing it deep, and maybe love will come, or maybe money. Somebody would like children. whatever you want and you wish with what's in your heart, then you can use this song.
And Kaisa, since you are a cabaret artist, one of the best actually, really, you have to show her shows. So how does it feel like to move from blues to rather folk music? Because this Tule is more kind of like folk inspired.
Yeah. I think this is a very natural place for me because I mean I interpret blues definitely as a storytelling, as a philosophy, as a folk art more than anything, and all of my research and my listening practices are very much grounded in this oral culture of singing and giving songs to different singers and the songs that move throughout history. So this is a totally natural thing for me, and I'm also a very good kind of newer folk song singer. Kind of in Estonia, they're not very. Their reputation is not the best. The newer folk songs are like German born or kind of drinking songs and weird shit from the 20th century. But I really like them, and I'm a great kind of folk musician with my little guitar. So no, nothing, absolutely not far from my kind of variety.
Eesti Laul changed, and this year you are directly in the final. How does it feel?
I mean, we won the jackpot, basically. We don't have to do that much work. It's easy breezy, very fun and fast. So, I mean, thank God. I think it really gave us a leg up in many ways. Of course, everything, the outcome will be a total surprise, I hope. I mean, nobody knows how the show actually will go. I mean, everybody thinks they know how it will go, but I mean, I have no idea. Because it's a weird one this year, especially because it's different, because it's there are so many different songs. The dark horses are in the race as well.
Then Kaisa, talking about the show, can you give some hints what to expect on Saturday, like what your performance look like?
There will not be go-go dances this time. Very sorry to say. But it will be definitely inspired by Estonian nature, quite a lot. We're going to take all of the best and the most mysterious natural phenomena that we can find in Estonia and in the Nordic areas. It's going to be, a night around the campfire, all together, everybody will be there, and we will really try to pull everyone into this bubble. So yeah, something like that.
And I guess already all the artists participating in Eesti Laul this year, right?
Yeah, sure. We've been together now for all sorts of events and media stuff. So yeah, I've gotten to see them. Sure.
So who is your biggest competition?
Our biggest competition. There are many ways to answer this question. So first of all, we might say, as the booking offices say, Tommy Cash is going to win. Okay. So in one way, they might be our biggest competitor. But in other senses, in our segment, kind of in our fan segment, in our age group, in the genre, we actually don't have any competitors. We are absolutely reigning our segment 100%. So if we really play this thing well, we might pull a doozy out of the hat for sure. I myself, I really enjoy Ann Marlen. So, if I would be on the other side of the microphone or the phone, I would vote for her for sure. So, and she's a fierce competitor. There's another Saaremaa girl in the race, Tule. So, I mean, always we are very competitive in Saaremaa. So she might do it. So there are very many different ways to answer. And who the hell knows? Yeah.
And Kaisa, I know that you are also huge fan of Eurovision since you were watching it back when you were 6 years old,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, what will it mean if you win Eesti Laul and represent Estonia in Eurovision?
I mean, that's the thing. Eurovision is such a long tradition. You know, it started last century, right after the war, 50s, or when was the first one, right? And it has changed so much during the years. I must say that right now, year 2025, I'm not a huge Eurovision fan because I've not followed it for a long time. You know, life's been crazy. The music's not that interesting for me, to be honest. And I have no idea. You know, I've enjoyed the classic Estonian, you know, beginning years. Ivo Linna, Silvi Vrait, Maarja-Liis Ilus, all of them. And we won it in 2001. Everybody was a fan of Eurovision in 2001. And I've researched Eurovision history quite a lot. You know, before I was born, in the 80s and the 70s, when they still had orchestras, that was a totally different game. And it's such a competition that it evolves all of the time. With what's happening in the world, with what themes are important, what kind of music catches the audience, and the audience is a very specific audience at Eurovision, you know. It's a heavily queer audience, which I love because I'm a queer person, and it would be, I mean, to win it and to go in front of this audience, oh my God, that would be, you know, a new beginning of definitely a new beginning of my Eurovision fandom. And I think the competition itself is also evolving quite a lot nowadays, because the world is evolving so fast. You know, there's so much war, so much shit going on. The US is unraveling, and these kind of competitions, they have to reflect it as well. You know, we can't keep on going with just, you know, disco songs. The songs have to say something. Like, you know, in history there have been very, very meaningful songs, and in the past years I think we can all see that they are coming. You know, people are trying to say something important on this very important platform. So I think, yeah, if I answer the question very thoroughly now, then yes, I am a fan, maybe soon again.
Kaisa, if you had a magic wind or stick, basically, what would you like to change one thing in Eurovision?
That is a very good question because nobody has asked it before. You know, I think I would not even change anything because, as I said, it evolves and it changes all of the time. You know, because, you know, although it's called Eurovision, is Australia still competing?
Yes.
It's weird, but I mean, it's a competition meant to show European values, isn't it? Is to bring people together, different countries together, and especially now in this time in history, it's a very important thing. So if I could change something, I would make it even more important. I would make it somehow politically meaningful. You know, the country that wins Eurovision gets to front the European Commission or something as well. You know, join them together, make it important, so the culture has more to say. Or, you know, culture committee, whatever. They can put, you know, the Eurovision winner straight to the European Parliament or something like that. I mean, that would be an interesting game.
But this is your, let's say, the biggest show in your entire career, right? I know that you also represented Blues Music Festival in...
That's a story. So, this is definitely the biggest stage I've ever been on, and it's quite scary. The second biggest that I've been, well, up until now is Augusti Blues. That's a big stage as well, a few thousand people, which is, it's a lot for me for sure. But we actually won the Blues Eurovision Estonian pre-competition, and we were supposed to go and represent. I think it was in the Netherlands, but I did a full Uku Suviste because it was COVID. and the competition was cancelled 2 years in a row. So we did not make it to the Netherlands. We did not make it to, I think it was like somewhere, next year it was somewhere warm, like Spain or whatever. Did not make it there because it was cancelled. And the third year we were just like, we can't be bothered. I mean, so I know, Uku, what you feel. This is a serious thing, but I mean, it's the blues the blues Eurovision, which is it's a joke compared to the real Eurovision, because blues is a small place music. It's a club music. It does not mean this kind of thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of viewers. Never. So yeah, it's the biggest stage, and super excited. It's gonna be. I'm gonna look very good on the stage though. Maybe you can't tell it right now, but I'm gonna be fucking awesome.
But Kaisa, you also actually released 3 albums, if I'm not mistaken. One is Nicole Mess.
Yeah.
One is
Lääne Murelainen.
And the third one is Big Bang.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us how these albums help you to develop yourself and become Kaisa Ling Sing?
I mean, it does not relate to Räpina Jack and the Eesti Laul that much, but I mean, Kaisa Ling Sing is my work. It's the most important job I have. It's my main job. I do blues, I do weird vaudeville blues. It's fun and irreverent. It's historically motivated. It's very well researched. It's super stupid and very beautiful. And these 3 albums, they are kind of, the small summaries from the different eras of this band. So Nicola Mes, we were just doing research. We had barely met. I mean, it's bad. We are, I think, already 3 times better by now, quite literally. And but it's a rarity nowadays. So if you can find a Nicola Mes, very well. We don't have any. And Lääne Murelainen, we are getting our stuff, Big Bang already, a totally new and an original take on blues. There are, no outside authors almost at all. And, but than the artistic growth, which is huge, it has taught me. It has taught me how music business works. And I've done every step of the way. I have done all of the work. I have created the music. I've recorded it with my band. I fucking produced it on CDs and vinyls. I've given it out and I'm selling it myself because, and I was coming here and I was thinking if you might ask something like that, I'm a hustler. And Beyonce already said, diva is a female version of a hustler, is a hustler. So I mean, I am a diva, bred and born and taught and developed through this. I mean, we've been together for 8 years now. Started from the bottom, now I'm here.
Nice. What's actually your future plans? Are we expecting any big projects?
Sure. I mean, this is how I work. I do large projects. There are definitely new albums coming in the future. We've focused a lot on stage music. We've done bluesicals. which basically Big Bang is a kind of a compilation of small snippets from the bluesicles. So this is, one stage of our development. I'm gonna translate and give talks and do radio shows, and I'm gonna work because I love working. This is where I started. I really love my job, and I don't know how to do anything else. So I will continue doing it, and while I do all of this, I will also sing a lot. Yeah, so this is what I do now.
To conclude our interview, would you have any message for the listeners who is watching and fan of yours, perhaps?
Well, yeah, of course, I can say that thank you very much for being a fan, for following us, for supporting us, and look deep into your heart. Vaata enda südamesse ja mõtle. And think if this song is the one that really touches your heartstrings. And I can already say that the answer is yes. I love you, really. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this lovely interview and taking your time and meeting us.
Of course.